It was like any other day, which would prove to be the problem. My alarm clock that day were the screeches of birds screaming SOS songs. It was like they were trying to send me a warning in code. Too bad I couldn't understand them. I walked out of my apartment and it looked like the sidewalk and puddles had a territorial war. And the puddles had won. But I didn't think much of it. With the state of our nation, I knew God had been crying a lot lately. But for some reason, I couldn't avoid the puddles as hard as I tried. I stepped knee deep in one and it stained my pants like red wine. I sighed in frustration and tried to kick the droplets off of me. But it clung to me like my kin. It felt all too familiar. So I inched my gaze down my legs, my eyes shaking, afraid to look past the previous point. When I got to my foot, I realized that it wasn't water at all. It was like people had been wrung like towels until they were dry, leaving puddles of blood all over the pavement like paint used to repave the road. In between gasps for air, I screamed. But my voice was caught with the hand high-fiving my mouth. The swallowed scream felt like stabs to my chest. Do you know what that type of terror feels like? It felt like I was in ice-cold water, drowning. I couldn't control the shakes in my body, the shivers in my lips. My body was convulsing, but I couldn't move. It was like I had a kink in my neck. I couldn't turn to the side to see the face attached to the hand. I was stealing breaths of air between his fingers. He told me to say my prayers, because even a slight bend in my elbows with palms straight couldn't save me. He said he could use the richness of my skin to justify my blood being used as paint. Then he dropped his hand, and I swallowed as much air as I could take. Tried to drown out the loud thumps of my heartbeat in my ears. He walked from behind me and stood right in front of me. When he met his eyes with mine, it burned, so I looked down. His face was pale, allowing the blue and red sirens to reflect off of it. "I'll be seeing you," he said, and he walked away. His words reached me with the force of winter winds, giving me goosebumps. He left me unharmed, but goosebumps hardened to scars, reminding me that I'm only safe as long as he says I am. He didn't need a mask. He didn't have to hide his face. He was invincible and he knew it. He was a supposed superhero gone rogue. His cape carried the 50 stars and 13 stripes. He had the strength of an army, the backing of a nation. He was like the Greek god Antaeus, we created him. He derives his power from the earth, so there can never be a kryptonite. He can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. And there is nothing you can do about it.